Welcome to Cosgrove Math Revolution. Today's video is going to be on multiplying and dividing integers. Just a quick review. So integers are numbers that can be positive or negative, and they also include zero. So here's an example of integers. So these dots before the -5 and the dots after the 5 over here just means that the numbers continue in either direction. But whole numbers, negative and positive, but also including zero. And I have focused already on the first rules here that are in the pink box, which is same signs add, different signs subtract. So that's on a separate video if you're interested in learning more about those or reminding yourself how to do those. Please look for that video. But today I'm going to focus on same signs positive, different signs negative, which these are multiplication and division rules. So that's going to be the key for today's video. Couple of things to keep in mind here. Anything behind a subtraction sign is considered a negative number. So we'll go through some examples of that in my next video when I actually do some practice problems. So this actually applies more to your add and subtract, but things can be behind negative signs for multiply and divide as well. So when we get to practice, you'll see what that means. And then the last thing to focus on for today is when you subtract a negative number, you're actually adding the number. So again, we'll get to these two when we're doing our practice work, which will be the next video. But for right now, for this video, we're going to focus on this multiplication and division rules. Okay, let's get started. For this video, I want to tackle multiply and divide together because they both have the same rules. And multiplying and dividing integers, let me just write this out, multiplying and dividing integers both follow the same rules, and multiplying and dividing integers are super easy. If you know how to multiply and you know how to divide, then you know how to apply that to integers. You just need to remember the rule. So the rule is this. Again, same signs, positive answer, different signs, negative answer. And what that means is if you're dealing with terms, two terms is where we're going to start. If you're dealing with two terms that have the same sign, so they're both positive, you're going to have a positive answer. Or two that are both negative, you're going to have a positive answer still because they're the same. Different signs would be opposite. So one is positive, one is negative, or vice versa. Okay, so let's do some practice. All right, first problem. Let's do some basic math for multiply and divide first, so you can see my thought process on how to actually go about looking at these problems. Okay, so let's do 8 times 5. And again, just bear with me because it'll make a little bit more sense as we get into the more complicated problems and get into negative numbers, why I am doing what I'm doing for this basic math problem. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at each of these numbers independently. So this number 8 here does not have a symbol out in front of it, which means it's positive. If it was negative, it would have a negative sign. And we always read math left to right, so this multiplication sign actually applies to the number that's behind it. Doesn't actually affect this number here. Okay, so 8 is positive. This 5 here is also positive. Okay, and the rule says that if they're the same signs, we have a positive answer. So they're both positive, so it's 8 times 5, which is 40. And that is a positive answer. Okay, let's try another one. Let's do -10 times 4. Okay, and this parenthesis right here means multiply. Very important that you understand that, okay? So the first part of the parenthesis, it's technically a grouping symbol, but if you have something that's attached to a parenthesis like this, it actually means that whatever is out here, whether it be a constant like number, like -10, or a term with variables, whatever it is that's out here in front of the parenthesis, you're going to multiply it to everything inside the parenthesis. And in this case, it's just multiplying it to the one number. But we can apply that thought logic when we get to thought logic. That sounds weird. We can apply that to our thought process. Let's go with that when we get into distributive property, which will be another video. So for multiplying, again, let's box these up. So -10 is negative, and 4 is positive. So 1 is negative, 1 is positive, so they have different signs, so we're going to have a negative answer. So this is going to be 10 times 4, which is 40, and different signs again, negative answer. Okay, let's try another one. Let's do -11 times -5. And I'm going to put this -5 in a parenthesis, grouping symbol. This parenthesis is just to show that that negative sign there goes with the 5. It really serves no purpose other than that. The reason why it's used is because they will never, when they're writing problems, so whether it's in a math book or on a worksheet, they will not put an operation next to a negative sign. So they have to put something in between just so you understand that this negative sign goes with the 5. Okay, so now let's continue on. So this 11 here is negative, so this is a -11. And this -5 here is also negative. So if I multiply these two together, I have 11 and 5, which is 55. I'll do that over here on the side just to show. 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 1 is 5. Okay, so this is going to be 55. They are the same signs. They're both negative, so same signs, positive answer. All right, and then let's do one that's opposite of this one. So if I have 2 times 12, -12. We're going to go opposite of that. Okay, so if I have 2 times -12. So on this one, 2 is a positive number, and -12 is a negative number. So I have opposite signs. So different signs, negative answer. So 2 times 12 is 24. Again, I'll do that over here on the side just to show. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, so it's 24. Their opposite sign is going to be a negative answer. Okay, let's try a couple of division problems. Okay, division is going to be the exact same thing as multiplication. So you just have to know how to divide. So let's do a few examples for division. So if I have 15 and I'm dividing it by 3, again, standard basic math, let's box those up. So 15 is positive, and 3 is positive. So I just do my basic standard math, 15 divided by 3, which is 5. And it's going to be positive because both of those are positive. So same signs, positive answer. Okay, next example. Let's do -100, and we're going to divide that by 10. Okay, so sometimes these will have parentheses on them. I have some examples that I'm going to show in the next video that have parentheses on both. It's kind of the same idea as the boxes that I'm putting my numbers into as I go through this, but it's not required for a number that's in front of an operation. But if it's there, it just means that, so if there was a parenthesis here, it just means that this negative sign goes with the 100. It doesn't serve any other purpose. Okay, anyways, let's get back to this. So if I have a negative 100, that's negative, and I have a positive 10, these are different signs. So different signs, negative answer. So I'm going to do this math over here off to the side. So 10 doesn't go into 1, but it will go into 10 one time. And there's nothing left here, so this 0 needs to move up. Okay, so if I'm going through and doing my division and I end up with 0, any extra numbers that are up here, any extra zeros that are up here, move up into the answer. Okay, and you can double check your work by multiplying these two. Let me circle those. Okay, if you multiply these two, you'll get this answer. Okay, that's the way you double check your work on multiplying versus division, because they undo each other. Okay, so anyways, 10 is my answer. So negative divided by a positive is going to be a negative answer. Okay, let's do the opposite. Let's do 25 divided by negative 5. Okay, on this one, 25 is positive, and negative 5 is negative. So opposite signs. So if I have different signs, is negative answer. Okay, different signs, negative answer. I'm getting myself mixed up with subtract. Sorry about that. So different signs, negative answer. So I'm going to have a negative, and it's 25 divided by 5, which is going to be 5. Okay, now what if I have negative 30, and I'm going to divide that by negative 3. Okay, so negative and negative. Here we go. So these are same signs, positive answer. So this is going to be a negative. Negative. This one is also negative. So negative divided by negative, positive answer. So 30 divided by 3 is 10. It's going to be a positive 10. I'll do my math over here on the side so you can see it. So 3 goes into 3 once with nothing left. So this 0 needs to move up. Okay, so those are examples of all of the different options that you could have for division. And again, I'm going to write the rule down just because it's so important. So same signs, positive answer, different signs, negative answer. Okay, those are the rules that we're going to follow when we're doing multiply and divide. Okay, so this is for multiply and divide. That was Baron barking in the background. If you didn't hear him, I will post him sometime on the video so you can see him. He's crazy. Big German Shepherd. Anyways, I hope that that helps if you're trying to multiply and divide your integers. The next video will be on practicing using one of my absolute favorite worksheets that is available out there on the internet for free. So please tune in to the next video if you'd like to go through some practice with me. Thanks again for watching, and good luck with your math.